Hello, and welcome to my reselling channel, Flippin Hippos. I'm Star. Today's Wednesday, and I try to do either a motivation or an organizational video. Today's kind of a little bit of both. Last week, we talked about death piles, and I gave you a death pile challenge to thrift less and list more. We've also recently talked on this channel about time blocking, and yesterday we talked about building banks, the importance of them. This has all been leading up to today's video where we're going to talk about how to get through your death pile in the quickest way possible by maximizing your time, speeding up your processes, and becoming more productive. So let's just jump right on in on how to improve your systems and reduce your decision fatigue and get you in a method where you're utilizing all of these skills that we've been learning on this channel about time blocking, building banks, tackling that death pile, batch work, all of these things. The goal to get through your death pile isn't to make you burn out on reselling. It isn't to make you bored because you're not thrifting. And it isn't to make you work harder. And it's definitely not so that you resent your job. It's so that you can list all of the items that you've already spent money on that are just sitting around wasting away because they're not going to sell if they're in your garage, on your floor, in your office. They're not going to sell. They cannot sell themselves. You have to get them listed. And if you already spent the time and money on sourcing them, your best decision would be to get those listed and thrift later. So we're going to talk about how to make each step quicker, listing more items in less time. And so we're going to start with my favorite, batch work. I've been talking about this for years. It should be ingrained in your head by now. Batch work. You always want to do similar tasks and similar items. You don't want to take one pair of jeans, photograph it, measure it, draft it, and list it, and then go get a pair of shoes and clean them and photograph them and draft them and list them. You want to grab 20 pairs of jeans, measure them all, photograph them all, list them all. You want to do all alike items, and you want to batch your tasks. So you can do this by switching your brain into I'm doing one mode at a time. Also, we talked about this recently, how to take really good photos with very minimal effort. You want to create a simple photo station. I don't really think that you necessarily need a backdrop and a lighting, a mannequin. You don't need all of that. In fact, I'll have my video from last week pop up here for you so you can watch it if you need to on how to create really great professional photos without the lighting, the backdrop, or the mannequin. You might need a hanger. You might need a couple of things, but you're not going to spend a lot of time and money on setting up a professional photo station when you can get professional photos very simply. So simplify your photos, get a place where you take them. When it comes to the listing part, you always want to use templates, whether you use List Perfectly like I do and have templates built in there, or you're running your photographs through their AI builder. You want to use templates. So if you don't have LP, eBay allows templates as well. You can have a copy-paste description template for each type of item that you list. For example, we're going to keep going with the jeans example here. You could have brand, size, measurements, condition, features. You can have a whole bunch of stuff already filled out on each listing when you take those photos. It removes the need to rewrite your titles and your descriptions every time. A lot of the information will be filled in ahead of time for you. Stop over researching. Look up 1 to 3 comps. Look at the solds. Look at what's listed. Find something similar and price within the range and move on. You don't need to find your exact Wrangler Pearl Snap shirt. Look for something similar and the same size, same brand, price within the range, and move on. Perfection will slow you down. Volume will make you money. You can set timers. You can do time blocks. You can choose days where you're working on different tasks. But always have a schedule. Always have routines. You can take one day and break it up into time blocks for all your different tasks if you want, or you can just have a photography day and a drafting day. But this will definitely help you be more productive. This is a really good tip to pre-sort your desk pile. So it goes back to that batch work. If you just have a pile of clothes or a pile of stuff, you want it sorted, right? You want it, I was going to say sourced, but you want it sorted into piles. So I do feel that spending 5 or 10 minutes up front to sort a pile of clothing into like items will save you much more time in the long run. You can put all your jeans together, all your shoes together, all your men's shirts together, all your women's shirts together. If it's something that's going to need a little bit more work, like shoes, if they need cleaning or whatever, you can put those in a pile and save them for last or do them first, however you like to work. Some people like to do the easiest stuff first and save the hardest for last, or vice versa. But you want to sort all your stuff. Build a listing bank for seriousness. You can photograph for days and draft for days and then list at your leisure, and this will definitely improve your speed, and your processes all across the board will speed up. I talked in length about that in yesterday's video. Use the touch it once rule. When you pick up an item, don't keep putting it back in the pile. Sort the pile, take a pile, measure it, photograph it, list it, put it in your inventory system. Don't keep fiddle farting around with the same items over and over again. If you find that you keep moving some things aside and ignoring them, that is what I call the I don't want it. If you're moving the same items off to the side or over in a different pile constantly and avoiding them, you don't want to deal with those items. Those are I don't want it. So you either have to force yourself to tackle the I don't want it, or you just have to swallow the hard pill that you thrifted or sourced an item that you really don't want to work on, and maybe it's time to redonate it. Because constantly touching it and moving it around your room or garage back to the office and just constantly moving it around is such a waste, a colossal waste of time and mental effort. Seriously, you need to maybe just gather all your I don't want us into one place, force yourself to deal with them, have a whatnot show and get rid of them easily, or just redonate them. You don't have to be a perfectionist. So you don't need 20 photos of one shirt. You don't need a paragraph to describe it. You don't need the perfect lighting and the perfect photo setup. Good enough is good enough, and they will sell. Make it look professional. Use great keywords, but you don't need it to be an award-winning novel of a description or photos that are ready for the Smithsonian. Good enough is good enough. And set goals. Tell yourself how much you're going to do a day. You can say, I'm going to list this many a day. I'm going to photograph this many a day. I'm going to draft this many a day. However your mind works in whatever system you're doing. But set goals. Don't just come into your office each day and willy-nilly work. You want routines. You want schedules. And you want specific tasks that you're working on with goals in mind for those specific tasks so that you are being as productive as you can be. And those are the tips that I have for you on how to quickly get rid of that death pile. Think of it this way. The faster it's gone, the faster you can go back to thrifting. Also, these tips are not just for tackling and getting rid of the death pile. These are really good tips for listing, period. In general, specifically all across the board. These are all really good tips for you to implement moving forward in your reselling business. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything you saw in this video, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and help me feed a hungry hippo. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.